right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday morning. You know what that means. It is time to talk some wrestling. This is a Wrestling Supercharged, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, former professional wrestler, promoter of Voltage Wrestling, jack of all trades, master of what? I do not know. Mike Raddick. I am alongside my broadcast partner, the one, the only, Rennis the Menace Carball, and it looks like he's ready for some college football this afternoon. How about it?
Yes, sir. WVU 2 o'clock. We'll
So,
see how they go. I doubt it's going to go well, but
we all have those bad seasons coming from a Baltimore Orioles fan. So,
yeah,
so lots of interesting news in the world of wrestling. I know we
yeah,
say that every week, but this week especially, very very tough news to hear. ROH Ring of Honor has not only said they're going to cease operations for 3 months, but they have gone ahead and released their entire roster.
yeah.
An
That's
unprecedented act.
that's a good way to put it. I didn't believe it at first. We have a chat with one of our partners in Voltage, Kyle Reyes, saying he thought it was fake news for a second,
Yeah.
and it was legit. Dave Meltzer reported. Then we could see people like Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. We saw Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Online. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate's the word to use there. I'll be honest. Like, I've I've been a fan of ROH pretty much my entire adult life.
Sure.
Kind of stumbled across them in my early 20s. Kind of looking for independent wrestling out there, trying to see like bigger independents, and really became a huge fan of what they did, like in the probably early 2006,
Mhm.
right at the beginning of the ROH CZW angle. Um,
With
just
Chris, was that with Chris Hero and Daniel Bryan?
Well, I mean, it
Or
started out. It started out with that, but it morphed into something bigger.
yeah,
Like I know Jim Cornette got involved there for a while. You had, Samoa Joe, Claudio Castagnoli switching sides. Like it was
yeah,
really. It was a definition of what happens when two companies can work together for the common good and really just build this wrestling universe in one town. Um,
yeah.
it was a great time to be a wrestling fan.
It's unfortunate because we've said it before on the show and previous iterations of the show that a lot of our stars of today we owe to Ring of Honor. People like Samoa
Yeah,
Joe, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, formerly Cesaro, formerly I
absolutely.
believe Castan.
Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, you know, uh, some of the best pure wrestling came out of Ring of Honor, and it's just unfortunate. NXT was built basically to take them on at one point, and then NXT's roster was owed to ROH. I mean, when NXT first came around, um, a lot of the guys coming from to NXT were from Ring of Honor, and
Absolutely.
and then with All Elite coming around, and a lot of people going to AEW, the Sinclair deal being, as you described, kind of a double-edged sword. It is unfortunate. I'm hoping that they do come back in March, like they say.
Me too. I'm really hoping they come back because I mean, to be quite honest, the odds are in their favor.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
be straight up. This company has been through a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of people that don't know that they were on the brink of ending in 2009 until Jim Cornette kind of came aboard and ended
right.
up getting them a deal that ended up landing with Sinclair Broadcasting.
Hmm.
There was the whole situation where the sale of Mark Cuban fell through and they were going to go down there. I mean, there's been so many times where this company was like on the brink of destruction and came back just stronger than before. So the odds are in their favor,
Yeah,
I think.
I just wonder. I wonder how much of the talent waits to see if they're going to get picked back up,
Well,
or if they just maybe people in Impact and the NWA and New Japan, maybe they let them work for those 3 or 4 months and then give them the option. If Ring of Honor does come back and does want to pick them back up, But there are people like we've talked about it, and I said I wanted to talk about it. I want to see John Gresham and Daniel Bryan wrestle so bad.
Oh yeah,
Two of
yeah.
the top pure wrestlers in the world right now. Uh, it's a dream match. I mean, people like him. I'd love to see Quinn McKay go to Impact right now because that women's division is so strong. Um, Roxy go to Impact or AEW. There's just so much talent in Ring of Honor. Roosh, who turned down a WWE contract,
The state of
not
Ring of Honor.
not 8 or 9 months ago, I think it was.
Yeah, and
Um,
I mean, it's that kind of loyalty. You
yeah,
really hope that they come back because you can't buy loyalty like that from talent. And I hope they come back and take care of those
yeah,
guys that were loyal to them. Sometimes in the wrestling business that doesn't work out.
right.
And
I would
yeah,
love to see Jay Lethal go back to Impact for a stint.
yeah.
I'd love that.
Personally, I see him probably. If there's one guy that I see ended up in AEW, it's probably going to be Jay Lethal.
Hmm.
Um, you know, a lot of this, you see a lot of guys. I mean, especially being involved in the indie wrestling industry, you see a lot of guys that are friends or people that you kind of break bread with from time to time,
Right.
losing their jobs. Guys out there like Rhett Titus, you kind of hope he lands on his feet somewhere. Somebody much more deserving than people know.
Right.
Um, as far as getting a lucrative job in the wrestling
Hmm.
business, just just an incredible talent. Um, and somebody that was just trying to get on their feet this year. It seemed like they were about to get their run this year, and just all this happens, and
Hmm.
it's very
Well,
very unfortunate.
I mean, Jonathan Gresham just announced not a month ago that he was starting the pursuit of the ROH heavyweight title.
Yeah,
You know, you wonder if he's gonna stick around or if he's gonna end up on AEW or Impact, where his wife Jordan Grace is now the digital media champion. Uh, there's a lot of. I'm glad that there are places for these people to work. I
yeah.
still don't want to see them without a job. You
No,
never want to see that
you
for
don't.
these performers and entertainers.
You don't want to see anybody without a job, especially in a situation like this. You just don't.
Right.
There's no. There's no scenario where, I think you're going to see these people go completely without. I think it's going to be a rough couple of months.
Yeah.
Um, you
I
know,
mean,
the, Go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
I was just going to say the one thing that I've been hearing, typically when things like this happen, rumors start kind of flying around.
Of course.
I know there was a rumor yesterday that the ROH tape library was for sale.
Hmm.
That eventually got squashed. Thank
Right.
God. That's usually when you hear a tape library being for sale, it's usually
That's
somebody's.
usually
Yeah, that
yeah.
usually means the end. Like when they're
Yeah.
breaking and dividing the assets of a company. So
Right. I mean, if that were the case, I think it would be the smartest thing for Tony Khan to buy it.
yeah,
Because I know there's talks, there have been rumblings and rumors of a streaming service for All Elite and stuff like that. But that would just be an incredible addition to that library. Um, yeah, typically when a tape library is for sale, that's kind of the nail in the coffin, so to speak. I'm glad that is not the case as far as we're finding out.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, thank God, because I mean, can you imagine WWE buying that footage
oh,
and having the rights to the very first AEW show?
ugh,
Just think about that for a second.
yeah,
Like
that's
how petty that is.
I,
That is a level of petty.
well, I don't think Tony Khan would allow that to happen. Tony has said he has more money than them.
Yeah,
Uh, he's made that abundantly clear, and I don't doubt that.
yeah.
Um, I don't think he would allow that to happen.
Well, hopefully
Um,
not.
yeah, it sucks, but like I
It's
said, I'm gonna remain cautiously optimistic that they come back in March or April, like what they're saying, to a rebrand. And the other thing, I was talking to my boss Jason yesterday, was the fact that yeah, you really never knew when they were on TV.
yeah.
Or you could never. For me, it was always like I'd be flipping the channels and it would be on a random channel at a random hotel somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is Ring of Honor. Heck yeah.
Oh, they're like I won't even mince words with it. Their TV distribution was horrible
Right.
because they're distributing in syndication. It was just horrible, like
Right.
absolutely. Um, but at the end of the day, it's national television and syndication is something. It's just if you're not
Yeah.
getting it on a consistent time, that's going to create some problems.
Yeah.
So, um, but other news this week. Again, you mentioned earlier Jordan Grace, the digital media champion,
Yep.
won that title at Bound for Glory, and what a pay per view that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It. I'm bringing up the results here, so I don't mess any of those up. There they are.
There we go.
All right. So it was the first match was for the tournament final intergender 6-way match for the first ever inaugural Impact Digital Media Championship, won by Jordan Grace, who defeated Chelsea Green, Crazy Steve, Falaba, John Schuyler, and Madison Rain. Um, I think that's great. Jordan Grace has been one of the people I have followed. I really like Jordan Grace. I really like her body of work. She has been, I believe, she was she was the Impact X Division champion at one point.
Yeah.
Was in that title. She was a former Impact Knockouts Tag Team champion, former Impact Knockout champion. This just seems like the next logical step. If you follow all these guys all these people on social media, she is everywhere on social wrestling, Twitter, wrestling, Instagram, everything like that. Next, we had the tag team match for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship, won by the Inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, formerly known as the Iconics. I won't do the yell, so I save your ears, Mike. They defeated Decay, which is Havoc and Rosemary, by pinfall.
And that was their debut, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Yep. That was their first match back. Once again, I think it's another a smart shoot. I'm gonna get into the booking here after I go through the matches because I've seen some complaints I want to address. Trey Miguel defeated El Fantasmo and Steve Macklin in a 3-way championship match for the Impact X Division champion. Heath Slater and Rhino defeated Violent by Design in a tag team match. Moose won the 20 wrestler intergender Call Your Shot gauntlet match. Thank you, Big Daddy C, with the big announcement. Christmas music is now being played on 102.1 FM.
So
Tis the season.
begins.
What I'm going down to his house this week to help with Christmas lights.
Oh yeah.
Already, Moose won by last eliminating Matt Cardona. The Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, defeated Finn Juice and the Bullet Club, which was Chris Bay and Hikuleo, for the Impact World Tag Team Champion. And then, big one, Mickie James defeating Deonna Purrazzo for the Impact Knockouts Championship. Matthew Raywalt, formerly known as, I can't even, Aiden English, was banned from ringside in that match. Good match. I love Mickie James having that title. Josh Alexander defeated Christian Cage by submission, and then Moose then automatically called his shot that night in defeating Josh Alexander by pinfall. Moose is now your Impact World Champion. This was, I don't know if you saw, Mike, but this was apparently the final. This was the quote unquote end to the AEW Impact relationship.
Yes, I totally forgot about this because of all of the ROH news this week. I totally forgot that this was a thing.
Some news has come out that they're still on a working basis.
All right.
This is just the end of the storylines that they had planned. You're still going to see with Kenny Omega. Oh God, what's his name? Not Scott D'Amore. Who's his manager? Kenny Omega's manager.
Callis.
Don Callis. Thank you.
Callis.
Gosh, I could not. You're still going to see him. He is still under contract with AEW. He's still going to be there, which is awesome because Don Callis makes Kenny Omega. I love that. I love that pairing. but I know there's been some push of Britt Baker and Deonna Purrazzo letting the women kind of go back and forth.
All
Um,
right.
so I I would love to see that. The men have had their chance and work together. Once again, I still want to see them work together. I would like to see some of the women start to bounce back and forth. I think as the digital media champion, Jordan Grace should be able to go anywhere. Um, that just would make the most sense to me. Kind of like a old school TV champion, which could show up anywhere.
Absolutely. No, honestly, like just some kind of loose partnership would be good for
Hmm.
business. To be completely honest, um, I I see them renewing this partnership here eventually. Like it has to kind of keep going almost. Like it, too much good has come from it. I'll just say that.
Right.
Like too much good has come from it.
Yeah. There's been a lot of great stuff that's come out of this relationship. Um, I want it to. I want to see it continue. There
And
were
it
a lot of
should.
people thinking. I saw people on Twitter like, "Oh, what did Impact gain out of this?" See, they're left in the. They call it Bound for Glory a crappy booking. And it's like, no, I really like the booking. I think Jordan Grace should have won. I think everyone who won, I think should have won. The only thing was maybe not put the title automatically on Moose,
I,
because I just get tired of that. They do it with a lot with the Money in the Bank stuff,
yeah.
they used to do it a lot, where the person would win Money in the Bank, and they would almost expect to be,
Champion. Yeah.
champion by the end of the night.
Yeah. The one thing I will say on that, I think they squandered what Christian Cage being the champion over there basically meant for them. I think they squandered that opportunity. That should have been built up for him to lose. Like if you're not going to lose directly to Moose, what are we even doing over there? Like that's just my opinion. Uh, like losing to
Right.
Josh Alexander was one thing. Like I think, like if you're going to lose to somebody, lose to him and have the guy go defend the title a little bit. But doing the
Right.
swerve at the end where you're coming out with a champion that wasn't even involved there in the first place. And granted, I don't watch their TV.
Right.
I'm going to be completely honest with it. I don't watch their TV. Just from an outsider looking in, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, especially because I like Josh Alexander. He had one of the best matches he had a match of the year, that 60-minute Iron Man match this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could have had a great run with that title. Now I'm just hoping that he gets back in that picture. He's still in the title picture. Him and Moose can go back and forth for a little while. Um, but like I said, because I like Josh Alexander, I think he's a great talent.
Yeah. I just say, I mean, hopefully, like, I'll just say this. Hopefully, some more happens for him.
Yeah.
I think you get the angle with Moose now because he's quote unquote robbed them of the title. Just hopefully
Hmm.
more comes down the line for him because, yeah, I mean, from what I saw, and I've only saw a small sample size of him, but from
Hmm.
what I saw, he was pretty good talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, moving on to the WWE this week.
I mean, did you
is
see
there is
that?
there anything?
I mean, did you see that they did pull? They pulled Charlotte from all media this week.
Yeah.
I
Um,
did see that.
yeah, that situation's getting a little dicey, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
That situation.
I
What is there to say about this situation?
now she was on SmackDown last night. She was there, um, in a great match with Shotzi Blackheart, which saw Shotzi turn heel on Sasha Banks last night, which I love.
Nice.
Um, I think that's awesome. I also, last night on SmackDown we had Naomi and the Sonya Deville's keep kind of building. That's been a great storyline. Um, coming up. I can't wait to watch those two get into a match together. But plus, I love Sonya Deville, and I can't wait to see her back in the ring.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see her back in the ring. She's been out for a while, hasn't she?
Well, I mean, she's been training. They just haven't had I think it's one of those things where they didn't really have a quote unquote spot for her at the time, so they put her in this kind of faux general manager.
Oh, so
Uh,
it wasn't like an injury situation then.
no, well,
Okay.
remember she hasn't wrestled since her and Mandy Rose had that thing, and then she had that person break into her house, that guy break into her house,
Oh, I remember this.
and she's been, because that was originally supposed to be a hair versus hair match.
When hardcore fandom goes completely wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, like guys, don't break into people's houses.
the dude was going to kidnap both of like
Yeah,
it's insane.
yeah. Like
Um,
your level of fandom should not go to the point where you're committing
no,
felonies.
no, no,
Maybe it's just me, but yeah, I don't believe you should be committing felonies.
no.
Uh, people.
What
But
other? Oh, I don't know if you saw Mike. This just popped up, but did you see that former WWE star Hacksaw Jim Duggan has unfortunately been diagnosed with prostate cancer?
oh no,
Yeah, he had. I know he had surgery this week. Apparently it went well, but
good.
thoughts go out to that guy. Yeah.
Absolutely, one of the best characters in the history of wrestling.
Oh yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, at my job that I left this week, we had we used 2x4s all the time, and I can't tell you a time where we were when we would get a load of lumber in, and I'd carry one around. Oh,
Nice. No, I mean it's like just such an iconic wrestling character. Um, just a character in real life too. If you've ever done a show with this guy, like he's just his positivity is contagious in the locker room. I'll just say that.
Mhm.
But yeah, our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. Pull through this,
Yeah,
get that 2x4 out, and smack this cancer.
yeah, man.
So
I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch Raw.
you know what I
I
did
just,
watch
I
this.
just, I
Okay.
just can't. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I
Like
can't do it.
it's hard.
It's so bad.
I can't. I can no longer commit to 3 hours of wrestling on a Monday night. Actually, I can now that I don't have a job. I can do that. But I did see that there was a ladder match, 4-way ladder match: Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Um,
Yes.
and Seth Rollins won, so he's now going to be the number one contender for that title on that show.
Yeah. Who this week was calling Seth Rollins like literally the modern day Shawn Michaels? Did you hear this from? It was
Oh, that does sound familiar.
I can't remember who quoted it. If somebody knows, drop that in the comments. I can't remember who quoted it. I mean, like as far as the work rate goes, I can't agree more. Like I'll be honest with you,
I'll look it up.
yeah, I've always thought Seth Rollins' work is just second to none. Like he is
Kurt Angle
Kurt Angle. There you
claimed
go.
that he is a young Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I mean, as far as his work rate and stuff goes, and the way he moves in the ring, like that dude is a machine
Yeah,
in the ring.
right.
I can't say enough good things about Seth Rollins.
I
Uh,
just, I
his
don't.
presence on social media a little bit annoying.
I was gonna say not only his presence on social media, but like his character, his gimmick. I just,
Yeah.
eh, uh,
Yeah.
the whole him breaking into Edge's house,
Yeah.
ugh, that was awkward.
Oh,
I
it
had
was.
friends who were at the arena and said after that segment aired in the arena, it like just deflated everyone.
Of course it did.
So it was like, I don't know. I think it's time to maybe retire those breaking into people's houses
Yeah.
angles.
I did find it funny that he was like, I don't know, drinking the orange juice straight out of the bottle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in these unprecedented times, so to
Uh
speak.
huh.
I was just like, yeah, got that whole refrigerator now. Like, but
Did you happen to catch? Speaking of WWE, did you happen to catch the steroid trial episode?
I have not yet.
Oh, Mike,
I'm gonna watch it today.
it is good.
Yeah,
It
well, of
is
course it was.
really
That's like
good.
the most. That time period in WWE, WWF at the time, WWF history.
Uh-huh.
We'll show our age a little bit. That time period was just ridiculous with all the crazy ass stories coming out of the wrestling business. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
you had that. You had the the Sid Vicious Arn Anderson incident right around that same time.
Uh-huh.
You had the
That when they like stab each other.
yeah, like Arn got stabbed 25 times with a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
Um, you had the Lawler stuff going on at the time. Like, it was just insane.
Yeah. And then you had the steroid trial going on at the. I mean, it's interesting. It was a really interesting watch.
It's like
This
all the
season
cocaine that these guys were taking in the
oh
late
yeah,
80s finally got to the.
right.
It's like, oh, Jesus.
I really enjoyed this season of Dark Side. Because the other night was the season finale. It shed some light on some things that I hadn't ever heard of, or like the XPW episode with the Messiah.
Oh, I've heard
Like
that.
that was wild.
Oh, yeah, good old Rob Black. Like,
The FMW episode was really interesting.
yeah.
The collision in Korea.
The
It was a
Korea
good
one was my
season.
favorite thus far.
Of all the seasons, or just
The Korea one was my favorite, just because people don't like. There's very few people that get a look at what it is really like inside a country like that,
sure.
inside a regime like that, until you actually hear it firsthand from people that have been there. And 9 times, I'll say this: like, when somebody comes over, somebody that's like born and raised in that country, and they come over and talk to you about why they escaped, you don't really relate to it as much as like when somebody from somebody you know, or somebody or somebody from your area goes to a place and then comes back. It's just a lot more relatable, and it's just like it kind of brings that story to life a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think out of all of the episodes, I'm looking at the list now. I gotta say, probably my number one is the killing of Bruiser Brody.
Oh, that was a good one.
It was a really good one. I think
I feel terrible for Tony Alice after that.
yeah. The In the Shadow of Grizzly Smith episode was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really good, but man, was it hard to watch. Of course, the Brian Pillman episode, the collision in Korea. FMW was one of my favorites because that's something I don't really know a whole lot about. It was a good season. I hope they bring it back. Mike Fox saying XPW was the drizzling. Yep.
XPW. I'll say this now, and I'll go on record. XPW is single-handedly one of the worst wrestling promotions I have ever seen in my entire life.
Did you ever attend live, Mike?
No.
Were you old enough?
No, but I remember, like, when I was first getting into the indies, or when I was first starting to wrestle, I remember all the bullshit that happened when they basically got an exclusive deal with the ECW arena.
Yes.
Basically taking all the independents out of that arena that were making money there, which was just dirty as shit.
Right.
Their shows, it literally looked like a poor man's ECW. And when I say a poor man's ECW, it's like, if you ever hear somebody from, that was like a WWE executive talk about what they thought ECW was, it was like a manifestation of that, where they thought it was just violence, and there was so much more to it. It's
one of the worst commentary pairs.
Oh, I'll tell you this, and this is a guilty pleasure. I actually, their one commentator, Chris Kloss, I low-key was a fan of his. Anybody who's heard Chris Kloss, like his signature, you'll understand. But
yeah, it's kind of when they felt like when New Jack threw what's his face off that scaffolding. You hear that scream. It's kind of like Joey Styles, cat fight.
Yeah,
cat fight.
It's like I was a fan of Chris Kloss. Don't hate me for that. But no, everything else from XPW was just absolute garbage. Absolute grade A hot garbage. I cannot say that, stress that enough. If somebody's upset, come at me, bro. I really like the promotional shit.
Yeah.
But AEW AEW this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm marked out for the ending.
Oh, which one?
The ending of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending of Dynamite this week with Hangman Adam Page, Mr. Stay Puft.
Yes. Yes.
Just, number one, like anytime somebody dresses up like the Ghostbusters, I'm going to mark for it. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. However, I mean, it was pretty well done there towards the end. Just well done all around. Hangman Adam Page getting one up on the Elite, kind of building the full gear just a little bit more. We're seeing a pretty good card shaping up for full gear.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch the Hikaru Shida Serena Deeb match?
I did. Ooh, yeah, that's so good.
Serena Deeb is so good, man.
Serena Deeb is a national treasure.
She is so good.
Just a goddamn national treasure.
Yeah, she is incredibly talented. We had the CM Punk defeated Bobby Fish in a great match.
Yes.
Sammy Guevara, Ethan Page match was good. I mean, I tell you, match of the week though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched Rampage last night, but that Bryan Danielson Eddie Kingston match was absolutely incredible.
You gonna give it the chef's kiss?
I mean, just chef's kiss, dude.
There you go.
That's going to be a new segment.
That needs to be a
the Renner's Carval chef's kiss of the week goes to.
You know what? That should be a T-shirt.
Yes.
Chef's kiss.
It reminded you how good of a wrestler Eddie Kingston is. If you had any doubts about it, and here's it. I will also go on record saying right now he may not have been the PWI number one. Daniel Bryan is the best professional wrestler in the world at this time. Period. Ever since he has been back, he has not had a bad match.
No,
he
not at
can
all.
bring out things in people that we have not seen yet.
No, it's a kind of a career resurgence a little bit because you're getting to wrestle all these guys that you would have never had a chance to wrestle in WWE.
Right.
Like there would have never been a chance that. Like I can't see WWE going after Eddie Kingston. Just up until recently. Like I'm sorry, I think he's proven. Forget the in-ring stuff. I think Eddie Kingston has proven himself on the mic.
Yeah.
Like, that man is the realest man on television right now. And probably the closest thing we're going to get to see on television since New Jack as far as like how real he comes across.
Yeah. And then last night, Mike Fox beat me to it. Set up for Punks versus Kingston was really good. Yeah.
Also, Mike Fox, we're going to get to that other comment that you had here in a little bit.
Which one?
He had a comment about a penguin, so to speak. We're going to give a shout out to somebody this week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that who I think it is?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that here towards the end of the show.
Okay.
I don't want to end the show without paying a tribute, so to speak.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha.
Back to
AEW.
Yeah, back to AEW and Eddie Kingston. I guess I was talking about Eddie Kingston. Seriously, one of the most underrated talents in professional wrestling right now.
Yeah,
I'm glad that he's on TV, and it's been fun watching him each and every week. And now apparently I've got to go watch this Daniel Bryan match because it was
good, man. I mean,
it's got the Renner's Carval chef kiss.
It was one of the best. I mean, once again, I'm going to say it. Bryan Danielson hasn't put on a bad match since he's been in AEW. The dude is a machine. He that's why I want to see him going full circle. I want to see him and Jonathan Gresham lock up. I mean, I think it would be a pure wrestling clinic with those two. An absolute clinic by those two.
Absolutely. All right. Now that we've got the AEW news out of the way, we've got to talk. We've got to give the Voltage Wrestling update this week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you
Sickened versus Ernie Osiris, Big Trouble Ben Bishop versus the Savage Gentleman Victor Benjamin.
There we go. Man.
These guys, this has some, I wouldn't say bad blood, but some definite rivalry in it.
A match of some
of peanut butter proportions.
Yes, a match of gigantic peanut butter proportions. One One man is showing his peanut butter privilege, as Ben Bishop
Yeah.
has said over and over
And for
again.
those of you watching, keep an eye out on AEW Dark. You might see. I saw this week that Vic Benjamin was got to work Frank Kazarian
Oh, wow.
in a dark match. Yeah,
Oh,
so
that should be a good
keep
one.
your eyes open, guys, and please support all of our guys on social media. Follow, like, there's follow them, like their posts, subscribe, share, whatever you can to help these guys out. Um, you know. Four matches so far announced for this Voltage event, and it is not one to be missed. I know we say that every single time we do an event, but this one is really shaping up to be
Yeah, this is Voltage Wrestling at its
huge.
finest
Yeah,
hour. When we debut in a town, we spare we spare no expense, so to speak. This is going
this
to
is
be
not Jurassic Park.
yes. This is not Jurassic Park. We are we are coming into this town, and we're going to give you a show like you have never ever seen before. We are looking forward to making our debut in Waynesboro here in a couple of weeks, and look forward to seeing everybody there. But
Yeah.
last but certainly not least on this podcast this week, we got to give a shout out to somebody. Somebody passed away this week. Tom Cusati.
Oh no.
Tom Cusati, who many wrestling fans probably know around here, most recently at the big time wrestling shows as Royce Prophet. He's the man. He comes out with a cane. Like a lot of the people in the crowd like to chant, call him the Penguin.
Is he the guy who had the whistle in the golf club?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the whistle in the golf club. I think he was last in Hagerstown managing Slick Wagner Brown at a big
Yeah.
time wrestling event. He passed away this week.
Wow.
Yeah, was found unresponsive in his home.
Ugh.
Just a fixture in wrestling up and down the East Coast. This
Yeah.
man's been around the business since the 80s. He's been around for a long time. I've often at shows heard him tell stories about how him and Paul Heyman would go to Madison Square Garden to watch wrestling matches as teenagers.
Wow.
So that should tell you how long he's been around
Yeah.
people in the wrestling business. This is a profound loss for area wrestling.
Yeah.
To be, just being
No one
honest.
could get heat on an audience like he
No.
could. I mean, he had an ability.
Yeah.
He had a gift to
Yeah.
get heat.
No, just a wonderful person to have in your locker room. He is definitely going to be sorely missed by a number of promotions here in the area, by a good majority of the fans here in the area. But our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, and fly high, Tom Cusati.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe that about does it for us this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I think we hit it all. I think we covered it all.
Yeah, a little bit of a short episode this week, but
Yeah.
we're building it back up. I do have some somewhat big news. We will be back on all podcast formats starting next week.
Oh, awesome. So what is
So-
that? Like Spotify, Amazon, or
Yeah, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play,
Awesome.
you name it. We will be on it for all podcasting purposes.
fantastic.
So,
So if you can't catch us live, you'll be able to listen to the rewatch.
Absolutely. You'll be able to listen to the remix, and we hope you catch us in some way, shape, or form each and every week. We'd love to hear from you guys. We love the fact that you guys support us so much. And with that being said, we will see you next week. Same podcast time, same podcast channel. For Mike and Rennis, we are out.